I don't think I've done these in a while because we had to go viral for a long time. So I'm a little nervous. Bear with me. But thank you for guys for coming for the Bluffton Bucs parents meeting. I'm going to make a lot of things seem a little simpler, guys, and maybe people are making more complicated than easy. These workouts are not mandatory. So I know kids are freaking out. They want to come. They're more than welcome to come. But the reason we started doing this was 7 years ago. Kids I think parents just wanted the kids out of the house. So might be what it was for. But it's been going for a long time. We have, first couple years we had 10, 12 kids do it. Other years we had 30, 40 kids coming out every night. And we had COVID. And when that happened, we still had 40, 50 kids come out doing this. So it's something the kids like. I don't know if you saw it, but they asked for 10 push-ups at the end of the day. That was not by us, that was by them. So it's something that it doesn't need to be, they don't have to come to this. But if they have other sports, if they're playing baseball or soccer or swimming or whatever it may be, it's not mandatory. It's not something that is going to hurt them during football season. We have kids that play multiple sports during football season. So we have kids playing soccer, we have kids in gymnastics, we have kids doing other sports. We work with those parents because we want them to have fun and do what they need to be doing. All right? And if they want to play 2 sports, then we're going to work with them. We don't want to punish the kid. So I can say we have parents that come on, some days they're not here on Wednesday for Bible study, but they're here on Tuesday and Thursday and whatnot. As long as they're making effort and they're communicating with us, it's never a problem. All right? So that's the first thing. So the workouts are not mandatory. It's something the kids ask for. In November, I had parents asking me to do this right after the season. So it's something that's been asked for a while, and it's been working really good. So next thing, practices. When we start practices in July, it'll be mid-July. I can't give you exact date because the director of the league that we're in sets the dates on everything when we can start. So if he says July 22nd, then we may start the week before as our camp. Camp is not another mandatory thing. It's just something that we get the kids out here. They go through the camp, we get their equipment handed to them. Something like equipment, helmets, and everything else. We get their shirt sizes because we give them camp shirts too. So by the end of the camp, they get a camp shirt. Vacations. You'll learn about me. I do not want the kids to be overwhelmed with football or overwhelmed with sport. I know how demanding when you go to higher education school. I mean, you got 8 hours of practice and 8-hour meets, 8-hour whatever. Bucs do not do that. All right. We have 2-hour practices in summer. It's 2 hours and you're done. And from Monday through Thursday, 6 to 8 o'clock, you're done. We don't go any further after that. We're done. When season starts and when the school year starts, practice go from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 7:30. So we cut practices in half. If we can't do our job in that period of time, then we shouldn't be out here. Last 8 years, the Bucs have been in the Super Bowl 7 times. It's because we make sure every kid is getting effort, every kid's getting practice, and we're not pushing them and making them stay out here 3 hours a night. It's not okay to do that to kids. And that's just my personal opinion. So I'll go through a list of things that you may have questions about and scheduling. So if you have vacations, take your vacations. Take your kids. Don't make them, we don't want them to feel bad they're missing. I'm not going to make them feel bad. I'm going to tell them enjoy the vacation. Just let us know why you're going, and that's all we need to know. I'll tell the other coaches. And we have kids that have fair in August, right when we're getting really in the thick of things. That's okay. That's part of it. We know that. We're not going to make the kids feel bad for having extra things they're doing. Let's see. One thing that you'll have to purchase before mid-July will be mouth guards. White jerseys, which you can get at Lyman Sporting Goods. I know that we make deals with them and they give discounts to teams because of we buy in bulk from them. So if you buy from them, they will give you discounts for that. And they should. You just got to let them know you're from the Bucs and that we're told to come over here, and we buy a lot of things from them. So white jerseys, chin straps. The reason we stopped doing chin straps because most people want to get their own chin strap, and the ones they send are pretty crappy, and they don't give a lot of protection to the chin. So we have the parents provide those too. But what we do provide for the kids, we do have helmets. We make sure they get reconditioned, if not every year, every other year, based on the standards that we are told. Helmets are basically 10 years and they're done. What you'll notice, the Bucs are going to have newer equipment than most teams out there. We make sure we take care of our equipment, take care of our stuff. Shoulder pads, pants, we'll have red and black pants. The kids will have red, white, black Under Armour jerseys. They'll have also a reversible jersey that are a camouflage, which I've seen. They really liked that last year, right, guys? Yes. So they had different camouflage jerseys, and the reason we have those things is we haven't raised our registration rates probably for over 12 years. It's been $75 for a long time. But where we do make our money is by selling raffle tickets. And raffle tickets are a big part of the Bluffton Bucs and basically our only source of income other than registration. Registration pays for refs, which refs decided they want to go from $50 an hour to $100 an hour based on inflation in this area. So refs are hard to come by, they are more expensive. So that's one thing but we're not trying to raise the rates on parents. All right, we want to keep more kids out here playing football because of those things. So the one thing that my wife always makes sure, she's one of those one more question kind of person. We have a Bucs Moms thing. It's very important that we have all parents get involved and not just single out parents, and that we're not individually isolating people. We want all the parents to get involved if they can do anything as far as popsicles or putting packages together. We do not want parents to feel isolated, that they're not involved. That's not how we want this program to be. So the Bluffton Bucs Moms is making sure that every mom, parent, dad, or whoever wants to get involved, they can. All right? Another thing is during the season, we have pizza parties. We have breakfasts. We have different events. We like to have team building stuff. We started doing films for the kids, so they got to see themselves and watch highlight stuff. So we try to do a lot of different things that I think the kids really like. What do you think, Mummer? You like that stuff? Yeah.
Well, you do the pool party too.
Pool party, yes. Yeah. I called today. We have a pool party August 17th from 8:30 to 10:30. So it's basically one of the last days we can have. Last day the pool is going to really be open, so the kids love the pool party. Hang out until 10:30 and then get them out of there. So and they usually have fun with that. I think anything for the regular season. We always tell parents expect to go to November because we have 6 regular seasons, starts in September, and the Super Bowl is always in November, guys. It's always the first week of November. The league. Typically our games are on Sundays, and they're usually at 1 o'clock and 2:30, 3 o'clock, depending on the team we're playing, but it's usually 20 minutes after the JV game. But JV always starts at 1. Varsity starts anywhere from 2:30 to 3 o'clock right after the varsity or JV game. So, and we'll play as far as, I think Delphus Jefferson might be the farthest we play now, but we play teams like Grove, Allen East, LCC. So we have some good teams in our conferences. We're playing a lot of teams we're going to play in junior high and high school. And then when it comes to playoffs, we're going to play more teams like we may play Corey Rossins, we may play the Uniopolis Browns. So we'll play some different teams, and depending on the league, we may play Walpox, Shawnee, some bigger schools, which we've done in the past. But I would say prepare yourself to go to November. We always set that expectation with kids. We're probably going to make the Super Bowl. We're probably going to be getting trophies, eating wings at the end of the season. So, as far as banquets go, this has been a hit for the kids. We will have a banquet where they'll go to the bowling alley, they'll have pizza, food, and hang out, and then the last 20-30 minutes we'll talk about the kids as a group. It has worked out well. I haven't got any complaints about how we do the banquet. If anybody would like to go back to the 2 hours of talking about everybody for 3 or 4 minutes for 3, we can do that too, but this is what the kids seem to enjoy. As far as in August, we'll have pictures. Robin does our team pictures and the individual pictures. She'll do the Bluffton Bucs cheerleaders and the Bluffton Bucs football players. Team pictures, I think, are always free, but I think there's a small cost for the individual. She doesn't really cost a lot to do something like that for you too. Trying to answer everything. Any question right now as I'm kind of going through everything? Pretty thorough. Oh, come on, it's got to be some question. Morgan, you got to use that another. So I'm just trying to go. When we do our equipment handout, that'll be right before camp starts. Usually our camps are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, a 3-day camp. Mondays will be where we actually go out to the storage unit. We get the kids sized up for their helmets, shoulder pads, and pants. We make sure that we try them on right there and make sure everything fits. We also do have times where they don't fit or something doesn't fit right. We can't have the helmets wobbly on their head. We make sure they put the chin straps on, try them at home. If it don't work, come back before we start hitting, because we don't want the kids to have equipment not ready to go for them. That's when we pass out the raffle tickets. That's when we kind of go over like some of the current events. If you're not signed up for the Remind app, if you don't have Facebook or you don't have Instagram, that's okay. The Remind app is a text alert system. I can post it again. It's on my phone that she's recording for right now, but it's like hashtag or it's 801 something like that. I can't remember what it is. The Bluffton Bucs, and then you can sign up for all the messages that we have for the Bucs. So it makes everybody in the loop what's going on. When I know the schedule, I will literally get it to you that next day or that night so that you have it right away. I know families are busy, and I know people have other things going on, so we want to make sure that we have the schedules out to you as quick as possible. Any changes to schedules, which last year or the year before, the league decided to change days on games. It had affect some people going to some NFL games. We try our best to make sure we keep the same schedule. Sundays are regular season game. Saturdays are going to be what the playoffs will probably be on Saturdays. So know that during the season, and Saturdays it probably, or during playoffs, it will go to Saturday. Let's see, banquet, regular season. What we do for as a pancake breakfast is all the coaches come down and we hook up a bunch of griddles, and we have, I don't know, 50, 60 starving kids ready to eat pancakes, and we pump out as much as we can, and they usually have a good time. And it's usually during a JV game of the high school, so they can hang out, play, watch the game, and so it's kind of a nice little fun thing for them to do too. All right, I'm trying to think.
As far as equipment, are cups mandatory?
No. At this age, that has not been a mandatory thing. They look at OSHA rules, they look at anything for this age group, and it's never been a requirement. I've not required it ourselves either. If you go to the JBL website, which we do a lot of our basically bylaws from them too, they follow a lot of OSHA rules. We will not punt the ball. We do kick the ball for extra points, but it's not rushed. It's basically the kids have an opportunity to kick the ball in the end zone or in the field between the goalposts. We don't do any kind of punting or kickoffs just for the safety of the kids. There is restriction on obviously head to head. Basically helmet to helmet. If you do helmet to helmet and it is a vicious on the player, I will personally take you out of the game. We don't play that game. We don't want our kids doing the same thing. And the rest will pull the kid from the game on either side of the ball or either side of the team. Being honest with you, we have teams that play pretty tough. So we teach our kids to play smart, hard, and fast. And when they do that, the results are usually good for our kids. When the kids play dirty, we don't tell them to attack other players. We don't play dirty. We let the coaches know, let the refs know, and they acknowledge it, and it usually stops right there. If it does continue, we've had teams get players removed from games and coaches because of behavior. You are going to have coaches from other schools that are going to be obnoxious and loud and vulgar. It's going to happen. We can't control everything out there, and it's not okay, but we try to do what we can. As far as our program, we don't represent Bluffton Bucs that way. Trying to think anything else.
What kind of cleats do they need?
Basically standard football cleats. I would recommend not getting baseball cleats or anything with metal tips. So just basically standard football cleats. I know that depending where you go, Lima Sporting Goods, I've had really good luck with them in the past for just helping us getting the right stuff. And they help size the kids up there, and they actually do a lot of personalized service with them too. We order a lot of our equipment through Rydell, which they do a lot. They will send representatives down to actually fit our kids for helmets if we needed to. We haven't had to need it before, but it's something that they offer. I'm trying to think of anything else. When some of the things that we do that we want to acknowledge, when it comes to the Bluffton Bucs, we are a club program, we can't punish kids because of what they did at school. It's something that I've had conversations with principals, I've had conversations with teachers and the kids and parents. It's something we can't punish them for. It's when you're using our equipment. If you're wearing, now this is where we put a rule in the book. If you're wearing our equipment and you're being a jerk, we will punish you. All right? We have basically a 5-step program. Basically, the first time, you may miss a practice. Second time, you may miss a week of practice. Third time, you're missing the game. Fourth time, you're suspended. Fifth time, you're gone. So what we also don't want is, what I found last year, is we don't want witch hunts either. We don't want to keep looking at a kid and thinking he's the problem. Well, we will eliminate what we can. We are only limited by what rules we have. So we have a bylaw for that, making sure that we're covering all the things. If they screw out here, they run. If we're not going to make every kid run because of one kid will be punished for it and our asked to leave, and then we'll talk to the parents. We haven't had really a lot of problems with that. We've had problems outside of football, but usually in practice it's usually pretty good.
Jerseys for the girls to wear the boys' jersey. Is there an issue with that?
There's always an issue with that. So we have no problem that the Bucs will allow the girls to wear the jerseys. That's never been a problem. It's how it's handled at school is what the problem comes into. And I can't speak for Bluffton schools, but teachers have been annoyed and asked kids to take off jerseys. So if you're going to give a jersey to a girl, we will tell you which jersey you can give it to them and make sure they get it back to you that night or the next day, depending if you have a game. They are responsible for, and you're responsible for the jersey. If you lose those jerseys, you're responsible for those jerseys. And letting your child know that we're not going to fight over which girl you're giving it to, or make fun of somebody for giving it to a girl because they're so it loves you, this and that and the other thing. But making fun of kids and giving jerseys to girls, it's silly. Parents have a conversation with a kid about it. I'll say something here, say something at home, but teachers have called me and said, I'm not allowing your Bucs kids to wear jerseys because there's an issue with that. So we'll start here, tell you guys do the same thing, and where it goes from there, it goes from there. Because it shouldn't be an issue, but it obviously has been an issue at least once or twice. Anything else right offhand? What's that? Weigh-ins, yes. Weigh-ins are actually pretty fun. Weigh-ins are going to be probably middle of August. Weigh-ins, and we'll have our first scrimmages. The way they've done it in the past few years, which they used to do it at Elida, and there's like 40 teams around. It's a lot of football playing, and these kids will scrimmage about 20 plays each side of the ball, and they'll do the weigh-ins, scrimmage, and then they're done for the day. But it's important to make weigh-ins. If you don't make weigh-ins because you have vacation or you have something else, let us know. We'll get you a date in there so that you can get weighed in, especially if you're wanting to run the ball. You have to weigh in under a certain weight. Weights for like 3rd and 4th grade is 105 pounds to run the ball. For 5th and 6th graders, 120 pounds. When playoffs come, they give you an extra 5 pounds. It's 110 for JV, 125 for varsity. So if your kid's close, we don't try to tell the kids to lose weight. I don't think it's healthy at this age. But some kids want to keep it under a few pounds so they can run the ball. No, it's 105 and 120 for each group.
And that's a maximum?
For the running the ball.
Is there a minimum?
Minimum. I've seen some pretty small 40, 50 pound kids run the ball.
He's about 54 pounds.
Yeah, so
just asking.
I know we've had kids run the ball at those sizes. We've had kids, and usually they're the ones that they sneak around everybody and go. So they're usually quick, and you can't see them. So that's not a minimum to run the ball, but there is a max to run the ball because if you get over a certain weight, the safety issues come into play. So weigh-ins are usually held in Elida, but last year they were held in Spencerville. So that's usually where the weigh-ins are, and they'll give us a time where they'll tell us a certain field, the times, and it won't be an all-day thing. Okay, it won't be like, oh, you weigh in at 8 o'clock in the morning and then you have a 4 o'clock game. No, they won't do that to you. They do it like 8 o'clock weigh-ins, 10 and 11. You'll have your scrimmages, or 9, 10. It's usually pretty close together. They want to get you in and get out. We don't try to make it an all-day thing. With games, they last probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then the kids are welcome to go home or stay and watch the older group, and vice versa. We don't want to make it an all-day thing. We want kids to get out there, have fun, and go and hang out with their friends. Anything else I'm trying to think of? Doing a good job, or assess questions? I guess with that said, every time you guys have a question or concern, try to bring it to me first, or if you have a problem with a coach, bring it to me too. We have a standard they have to go through. There's if they don't meet those standards, we can't have them in the coaching staff either, because these kids need to have fun out here and they need to have a love of the game, because what we've seen over the past few years is what we've been doing. And one thing we've done at the Bucs that I'm proud of is that we put a Buck, Beaver, and Pirate defenses together, so we got a lot more kids on the football field that way. And because we had an issue with a certain team last year, they were putting teams on the field when we were moving kids on the field. So on offense, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have different rotations on offense too. So we're going to get more kids playing. Coaches are aware of this. We're making sure every kid's playing at least 8 to 10 plays a game or more. Some of the younger kids, I'm not going to use the word safety because that's not fair to the kids either. We want to get the kids out there, ready to play, ready to go. If your kid's not playing and I don't notice it, let me know right away so we can address it right away. We do a good job getting all the kids in the game, but we've had a few games in the season, close games, where I've had parents that their kids were playing and the other kids weren't playing, and they're getting mad because the other kids were getting in. There's no right way to look at this, but I'd rather get all the kids in and do it the right way and take a little extra effort by putting teams together on the field. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else. Steph, you got anything?
You're good.
I mean, is Mike?
You've done Mike proud.
Okay, well, her husband was my Bucs coach, so if I don't do it right, he usually lets me know. So if that's anything else, I don't want to take it. We took longer than I wanted to, but if anything else, let me know, and go Bucs, Buck Pride, right?